Hi guys, so I am continuing on with the reviews and trying out the new items DiamPress brought to HSN. These items were sent for your treasure in my review, and all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. The reason I paused is because first I was going to say I had noticed that this was also an Imprint die set. I would have probably put it together with the other Imprint die set tutorial that I did, or review, for the floral designs. So pretty. And actually I have the cards sitting here, so this is just, I kind of put it together after I kind of played with the different Imprint dies, but super easy, just kind of match all those little things there. This one is the Slimline lace border imprint dies, so let's check this out. And you know what, my eyes must, I guess because I wasn't looking for imprint dies, I think I read impressions, so I'm like, oh okay, it's gonna be like a, you know, like a Slimline die set. So I was mistaken, my eyes glazed over those words, and so now here we are, and look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's open this up because I had mentioned in the other video when I reviewed the other floral designs that I would bring back some of those things in other videos so we can try them out and see how we can create a card with them, those kind of things. And I did not know this was here or on the way or anything about it. So we have the elongated folder because they are slimline, and the edges do cut the die that cuts out, of course, and then it just has all this impression stuff on there. Impression stuff, I guess impression design. They are recommending, you know, to use your ink pads. It says using a die ink pad, ink desired die, and then you just place that face down on your paper and run it through, and then embossing and the ink and everything will just come out all at once. I think for today, I might try putting ink on one of them, but honestly, like I've mentioned before, with these kind of dies, I just like to put them on pretty paper and let it just do its own thing, right? Just being amazing because of the design that's impressed on your paper. So we will try them out. I think... Oh, well, let me just talk about them a little bit, just in case you didn't see the other video. I will link it in the description box, because in that one I did try out different inks and all these different things, so you can check that out for more background about this kind of die. But they did put a new material or coating. It feels not rubbery, but like not just like metal soft, like I don't know how to explain it. And one thing I did forget to mention in the other video is that when people say things like this, they're like, oh, that's a foil die. No, it's not a foil die. And honestly, I wouldn't run this through the foil machine because it does feel like it has a special coating. I don't know how that adapts to the temperatures that your foil machines go to, and then run it through with the friction and everything. So I would not do that. That's just me. Of course, you can try whatever you like, but I would hate for you to damage your die or just not have it work as well later because, you know, the coating's coming off or something like that. So definitely inks and just paper is what I would do. I wouldn't be foiling these. So what I wanted to mention also is that you can see there's surfaces that are just flat. Okay, and that's going to take ink all on that if you are inking it. And then there's surfaces that are recessed, and that's, you know, hopefully there wouldn't be ink in those areas because you want the ink to be on the kind of raised surfaces. And the cutting edge is higher than both of those things. So the recessed is low, this mid area is, you know, a little bit raised, and then the cutting edge is even higher than both of those. So just a little bit about those. And let me grab some paper and we will try them out. Okay, so before we get started, and of course I misplaced my metal ruler, which is odd, but I do want to measure these for you. I think, you know, DiamPress usually does like 8.5, 8 1/4, kind of by 3.5 or 3 1/4 type die. I'm just trying to see the very edge of that. It goes right to, it's about 8 1/4, the die itself, and then by about 3 1/4, a little bit larger than that, the die itself. So it's probably 8 1/4 by 3 1/4 of the mat that this actually creates, and very similar here, I'm assuming. Oh, and of course I assume, yeah, I'll say maybe I assumed wrong. This looks more like it's measuring to the 8.5, even though they look exactly the same. Maybe I'm measuring something wrong. No, it is a little taller. So very cool. And then of course these are different widths, so I'll just kind of roughly, this one's almost 3 inches wide. And this one's about 2.5 inches wide at the taller point. We're just going to cut some different papers, and then, like I said, maybe I'll do one with the ink. So I just grabbed some different papers. I love the way this looks on metallic, or pearlescent paper, metallic paper also. But I just grabbed different pearlescent paper and some just basic cardstock. Let's see. I'm going to run each one of these through a different color, or a different type of paper here. Well, basically a different color, because these are basically the same type. They're both pearlescent papers, which are on the heavier side as far as the weight of those. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this tape off the back. And I'll just cut a piece of pearlescent paper down. I think this one. Yeah, this is... I think I'm going to do it this way. This is A4 size paper, so it's a little bit smaller than our standard A2 size. So I'm just going to cut this off. I'll run it through. I'll show you the one that I'll run through the other two off camera. But let me just trim this down so we have this little piece here. And today I will use, on this particular one, a folder I've used before, just because I have had questions about, you know, folders that are kind of warped or a little curly, and I said they work just as fine as if they weren't, so I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to rotate this a little slowly again so I don't shake the camera, but otherwise you can just run it through. I'm just trying to be nice about it so the camera doesn't shake. Nice and taut, but again, this is a very solid die because it doesn't have any, like, it's just a solid piece, right? Oh my gosh. When I was doing this, I was like, this is... I love the way this looks. And I don't know what magic... And I guess it's from being compressed, that part that gets compressed stops looking matte. And it just gives it two... Like, I'm speechless on these ones. I love it. I love the way it works with the pearlescent paper. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to run the other two types of paper with the other two dies, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's check these guys out. Ugh, I'm telling you, that pearlescent paper, just the way it compresses that area and it makes it look, you know, the pearlescent kind of shiny and then matte behind it. So pretty. Oh, we got a lot going on here. We can put those together. And then this one, this is just a thinner, well, not super thin card. I would say probably about 80 pound, where the pearlescent paper is probably like in the 200 GSM type thing. I know those are different weights with the GSMs and the pounds, but that's how I know them. And this one also had texture. I don't know how close I can get and where the light is. So where it got compressed, the texture just kind of went away, and so this other area that's raised also has texture in it, while the other area is completely flat. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, how pretty! Let's try to see if you can play with these together. Layer them up however you like. Oh, you can have this one just poking out from the back with that little scallop. I mean, you can, you know what I'm saying? You can play with these in lots of different ways. Oh, look at that. That's cool. I didn't even notice that when I was talking about them, how this design is different from this side. So honestly, if you want to cover some up and do different things, you know, you can definitely do that. Obviously, these are different sizes, so maybe I wouldn't put these two together, but yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, so let me think about what I want to do to maybe make a card background and some toppers and things, and I'll be right back. Guys, before we move on to that, I did mention I would try maybe inking up one of them, even though that's not my preferred way of using these guys, but we will try it. So I'm going to take this guy. I already cut a piece of this gray paper. It is textured on one side. I'm going to impress it on the opposite side where it's a little bit more kind of flat. And I'm just going to use a hybrid ink, since we didn't use a hybrid ink last time, and we'll see what happens. These are kind of, I don't even know if hybrid inks are pigment ink. They're water-based, I think. They're just, you can use them with, you know, water-based items and alcohol markers once they're dry. Let me see. Non-fading, hybrid ink pads, the best of pigment and dye ink. Okay, we'll see. So I'm just going to use this guy, and I should probably keep this to the side. Now, last time I used a smaller brayer. This one's a little bit bigger, so it might take me a minute to actually get it going. But I'm just going to ink, and just continue inking until this whole thing is colored in. And I might even go get my smaller brayer, because this guy's a little bit too big. Let me go grab the other one. Yeah, so I'll just continue doing that, getting it in every little area. And once it's all colored in, I will come back and we will try it out. As I was doing this, I thought, wouldn't it be cute though, actually, to leave it a little more distressed looking? Because I'm like really pushing it into every area, but if you wanted to be more playful and let it be kind of, just let it be, that'd be good too. That worked a lot better than that larger brayer, so that's something to note. I'm pretty happy with the application. And just, you know, even if you go over an area and you think there's not ink there, it probably will have ink because, you know, just a little bit of ink, you know how, I mean, it gets on your fingers everywhere else. It does the same thing with your paper, so, or with your die. Again, I'm slapping that down. I'm not letting it move. I'm going to tape it here and a little bit more on this other side. Put it in my folder. I'm going to turn it this way. And I am going to curl this up in a way. Try this out. Some dark colors, see what happens. Ooh, hybrid ink might be the way to go. How pretty is that? And hopefully you can see I didn't get any in any of the recesses. Worked out really nice. Hybrid inks. Another win-win. I'm telling you, I'm a big fan of hybrid inks recently just because you don't have to think about it. It works with everything if I want to, you know, something that's not going to smudge when I do mixed media kind of things or however. Anyway, I'm just a big fan. Okay, well, there's that. All right, I'm going to wash these things and clean them up, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I grabbed some ephemera from that sweet little Diamond Press ephemera we have here. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to use this card base. This is, I think, some Basil cardstock. It's very, very textured. And it's 8.5 by 7. I'm going to score it at 3.5 on the 7-inch side so that it makes an 8.5 by 3.5 Slimline card base. That's my preferred size, so that's what I like to use. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this down, and then we'll build up a little like topper kind of situation here. And so I'm just going to glue this down directly. As always, hold it down till it's set, and I'll try to put a little bit of glue on the very edges, just here and there. And once I do that, I'll just center it here and hold it down, and I'll be right back. While I was holding it down, just kind of massaging it, I put some dimensional adhesives kind of towards the center of this, because what I'm going to do is just pop this little guy down. And then I'll tuck in some of the other items here and there. Just want to look at it and see, yeah, it's a little too much this way. That looks pretty good. And you can put a jaunty angle. I'm just putting it straight across, but it's always nice to play with it. So I grabbed some little ephemera. I'm just going to kind of pop some here and there. I'm not sure if I'm going to put that one first, or maybe this one first, and this one over the top. No, I kind of like it the other way. So I'll tuck those guys in there, and then I have this really pretty sprig here. I'll put there. And that'll be my card. Super easy, adds a lot of texture. You can kind of play around with the inks and things, and I think it just makes a lovely card. Yeah, so cool. This one I like exactly where it is, so I'm not going to move it too much. I'm just going to put some glue there. And again, just in here. Something like that. And that's my card. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of the different things that you can do with this. I'm sure there are tons of other things, like with the using inks that are pigment based. Then you can put some clear powder or clear embossing powder, or any color really, and then just, you know, flick it off and then emboss it, and that's going to be heat set in there with like the shininess. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of fun ways to play with this. So thanks for watching. I'll have images for you guys. I'll have some links in the description box, and I will see you guys at the next one. Oh, I was going to say, check this out. Tuck that little guy on the side. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye now.